Good evening, everyone. Just coming on live tonight, just because watching the Belgium game, watching the Belgium versus Ukraine playoff game as we speak. It is 2-0 to Belgium. They are right back in it. Remember, they lost the first leg 3-1 against Ukraine. It is currently 2-0. Now, the reason I'm watching this game, obviously, is because Nicholas Raskin is starting his first game for Belgium tonight. Belgium currently on the attack. We're going to watch a bit of this game. There's 10 minutes left. It's 3-3 on aggregate. Kevin De Bruyne corner is repulsed. There, it's out on the left-hand side. Back it goes. Nicholas Raskin has it now and plays it back out to Kevin De Bruyne on the left-hand side. De Bruyne swings it into the area. Header away by the Ukrainian. Belgium laying siege. Yeah, he does it. He definitely doesn't look out of place. He's still on the park. He's still playing. He's looking a good player tonight. Ball swung into the box by the Belgians there, and they stay on the attack on the right-hand side. Nicholas Raskin is around on the edge of the area. Belgium are on the attack. They swing the ball deep into the box. The Ukrainian keeper gathers it. Guys, we're going to watch a bit of this game tonight. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a bit of an impromptu watch along here. I'm good, Michael. How you doing, buddy? Michael, is that you, Mickey? Is that Mikey Legend from Mazda? You're all right, mate. So we're doing a bit of an impromptu watch along tonight. Andrew, I'm good, mate. How are you? Just a bit of an impromptu watch along tonight. Watch the remaining stitches of the Belgian. I'm good, Janet. Good. William's good, hopefully. Yeah, I'm good, mate. 2-0. It's 3-3. I think it goes to extra time, penalties, maybe just the penalties. I don't know. But Nico is still on the pitch. He's not looking out of place. Remember, Nico was picked tonight to start the game in the number 6 position. He's on good tackle. Nico wins the ball back in midfield and thrusts on forward. The ball is out, pushed out. Oh, referee. Seriously, man. Referee's just got in the way of that Belgian counter-attack. Litigation, how you doing? Hey, Mikey Legend, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well, mate. Miss you already. Mikey's one of my top guys from my former job. Moving on. He has been, buddy. Yeah, I've just started watching, actually. I've been busy tonight. I've been now celebrating my daughter's 17th birthday. We went out for a meal tonight. But I've just come in, sat down, put the computer on, thought, you know what, I'm going to watch. I've just found the game on YouTube. I thought, I'm going to watch the rest of this Belgium game because Nico's playing. I thought, you know what, I'm going to come on, do a bit of an impromptu watch along with you guys, watch the last knockings of the game, then see what happens, see if it goes to extra time, see if it goes to penalties. Mikey, mate, you're a legend. You'll get out as well. You'll escape, mate. But yeah, look, I mean, hopefully, look, I'm no massive international football. Agnes Cartledge, how you doing, Agnes? I'm no massive, huge fan of international football, but if it's a Rangers player, if it's Nico Raskin, I mean, I love Nico Raskin. Guy is top level. Maze, how you doing, buddy? Obviously, Nico now on the ball, thrusting for them, a lovely little lofted ball over top. Lukaku doesn't make the run though, and it is gonna be a throw into Ukraine deep enough. Nico shakes his head, doesn't like that Lukaku didn't make the run. The new manager there of Belgium, I think there was a lot of hope, wasn't there, when was, I can't remember the guy's name, when he got sacked, that that he'd be replaced by Philippe Clement and we wouldn't have to sack Clement. But no, it's not. It's Rudy Garcia, who is the man. Nico is a great player, Mikey. He is an absolute superstar. He'll be in the Premier League eventually. Lovely little bit of football from Belgium here. Into the box it goes. Chance flicked on there. Drops down. Shot, volley. Just over the bar. Belgium are fighting back. Only 4 home nations. It says enjoy the game. Consolate. Obviously, hard lines to Scotland tonight. Obviously going out, losing 3-0 at Hampden tonight. I mean, who'd have seen that coming after obviously after winning that first leg over in Greece in Piraeus, then go and lose at home. That's a bit of a shocker, that one, a bit of a shocker. But Scotland obviously relegated from Nations League A. But yeah, we're just going to watch through to the end of this game together. And if there's time, we'll have a little bit of a Rangers chat, shall we? So that's what we'll do tonight. Just I'd come on, do a bit of an impromptu live. Been a busy day celebrating my daughter's birthday today. So, just thought I'd come on and try and get something done, get some stuff going tonight. Other games tonight. Germany winning 3-2 against Italy. It's 5-3 on aggregate to the Germans. Spain 2-2 with the Netherlands. That's 4-4 on aggregate. France now 2-0 up on Croatia. That's 2-2 on aggregate. Portugal 2, Denmark 2. That's 3-2 on aggregate. in that game. This is a relegation playoff, obviously, I think, this one. Belgium versus the Ukraine. Belgium with a long ball forward. The Ukrainian defender covers back. De Bruyne goes forward, can't get there, and Ukraine clear their lines. Nico covering back, looking confident in that 6 role tonight. He's looked absolutely rock solid in that 6 role tonight. You know, he's looked really, really good. Litigation celebrating Greece's win. I would too, Janet. I'd love to see wee Nico score tonight. Guys, if you want to watch it and watch me at the same time, you can do it on YouTube. It's on YouTube actually at the moment, the game. If you go into YouTube, just put Belgium v the Ukraine, you can actually watch the game for free on YouTube. It's fantastic access to the game on YouTube tonight. But the Ukraine have it in their own half, playing forward now, covering there. Ball out. Nico's across covering there. Nico shepherding them out. Good interception by the Belgian left back who storms forward now. Plays it in field. Little flick off. Here come Belgium. Good fluid attacking football. Down the side. Lukaku with a chance. He's in down the side. Lukaku shoots. Lukaku scores. 3-2 Belgium. 3-0 Belgium. Come on. Lukaku for Belgium. It's now Belgium 3, the Ukraine 2. And Belgium are looking like they're going to save themselves. And they've overturned that deficit from the first leg. They were 3-1 down from the first leg. And I think anyone would have said it was over, done and dusted. But no doubt, picking Nico Raskin's got to have helped. I mean, it must have. And perhaps that's just my Rangers bias. Maybe it is. But yeah, you know, lovely little De Bruyne, beautiful flick from De Bruyne. Beautiful ball laid in. And Lukaku, what a finish. What a finish by Lukaku. I mean, Romelu Lukaku, he's one of those players that just flatters to deceive, doesn't he? I mean, he's moved around Europe for a hell of a lot of money. He's been at some of the top clubs around Europe. He's been at Manchester United. He's been at Chelsea. He's been at Inter Milan. He's been all over. And, you know, it's really good to see, you know, him obviously coming good tonight for Belgium and helping them. I think you go back to the Euros, he was really unlucky in the Euros. I mean, I think he missed more chances than anybody else. Nico's been class, says JM. Andrew Leach says, wish Raskin wasn't playing as good as he is. He's going to be a nightmare to keep at this rate. I mean, he is, isn't he? I mean, that's the one downside, obviously. You know, Nico's just a class act. He's an absolute class act. And, you know, if he starts impressing on the international stage in these high-pressure games that they're playing, obviously, then yeah, it's going to be a situation that, you know, other clubs are going to start to look at him. But yeah, fantastic performance by Nico tonight. Raskin there clears the lines. Back it goes, laid back in. Belgium then hack it clear. Ukraine have got to come on the attack now and try and get a goal. But one goal takes it back and evens the tie up. Here come Ukraine down the outside. Ball in. Trump shouting for Belgium. Probably is, actually, because he don't think he likes Zelensky, does he? It's been a good performance by all accounts by Belgium tonight. Good, decent display by the boys in red tonight. Nico Raskin, yeah, I think I echo 100% what Mays says here. I really just hope that that he comes home unscathed and no injuries. But, you know, the fact that he's come on as a sub for Belgium, that he started tonight, he's looked good. And here come the Ukrainian. Wes Faze of Leicester City hacks it clear into the stands as the Ukrainian falls to the floor. Janet says, Andrew agreed his ratings is going to go up. Great wee player. I mean, this is the risk, isn't it? You know, when you've got a player as good as Nico, who's had an amazing season, and then he goes away, comes on as a sub, impresses, plays from the start for Belgium tonight, and, you know, he really impresses again. Yeah, it's going to get teams interested in him. It's going to get teams looking at him and thinking, yeah, I fancy a bit of a punt on him. He looks a player. It's always the worry, isn't it? Always the worry. For anyone. Ukraine is making a couple of changes now. Belgium are going to make a change, but they're holding off on making that change at this moment in time. Deep throw in. Wes Faze heads it away. Rick ball smashed back in by the Ukrainians, but it's a goal kick to Belgium. Belgium resting Thibaut Courtois tonight. Instead, Matt Sells, the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper, is currently in goal for them. It's Germany 3, Italy 2. They're 5-3 up Germany. And Raskin is now coming off. They're taking Nicholas Raskin off. He is going off to a standing ovation from. Oh, wow! I'm actually not making this up. Raskin is going off to a standing ovation from the crowd. Hainan is on in his place, but high five with the manager. But a standing ovation, you know, for him is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic from Nico. Brilliant. Brilliant. Owen on. What am I on? What am I on, Janet? What am I on? Yeah, Nations League. Spain 2, Netherlands 2, Portugal 3, Denmark 2. That's all square now on aggregate. France 2-0 up on Croatia. That's all square on aggregate. But Nico went off to a standing ovation from the crowd in the game tonight. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, that's got to do his confidence, the world of good. The fact that he's been part of this fight back. He's been part of this performance tonight. From the start, he's been absolutely superb. And then he goes off to a standing ovation. I mean, absolutely superb of the lad. Normality channel, while Scotland's men went out, Scotland's ladies' own Erin Cuthbert scored the winner for Chelsea v Man City tonight. The Chelsea midfielder is from a family of Rangers fans. Well done to Erin Cuthbert. Raskin just been subbed. Looks like he threw the game okay. He did brilliantly, mate. He did brilliantly. Yeah, Scotland are out of Nations Group A. They were relegated from League A tonight. That 3-0 defeat. We're now into stoppage time. 3 minutes of time added on at the end of the game. De Bruyne on the left-hand side takes it into the corner now. Is he going to stand on in the corner? Yes, he is. He's going to waste time in the corner. 2 Ukrainians go over to try and win the ball back. Good holding on by De Bruyne. Played out. It's going to be a corner to Belgium. Good work by Kevin De Bruyne there. Kevin De Bruyne, he's still a top player, isn't he? Even though he is not, he's not the player he once was. He's still a very, very talented footballer. So he's over there with his his club teammate Doku. We Are the People says bye-bye Steve Clarke. I mean, you've got to start asking questions of Steve Clarke, haven't you, after tonight? I mean, losing as he did 3-0 at home to go out and be relegated from League A when, all you had to do was keep it solid and get a draw or a 1-0 win. And you stay in Nations League A, and to go and lose like that is pretty humiliating, isn't it? And it wasn't a great performance by all accounts. Optimus Prime says, disappointed Lennon Miller didn't get a game tonight, but Scotland were woeful. I have heard that Scotland were particularly bad tonight. Yeah, not great, were they? Not great at all. We're going to have a little look around what's going on in Europe at this moment in time. Nations League, the end of the 90s, Spain, Netherlands is 2-2. So that stays as it. That will probably go to extra time or to penalties. I'm not quite sure what the plan is in that game. We'll perhaps have a little look in a minute. France 2-0 up on Croatia. That could well go the full distance. Matt Sells grasps the ball for Belgium, falls to his floor. 2 minutes up on the clock. Only 1 minute to go. Rudy Garcia telling his team to get out. Portugal 3-2 up on Denmark. All square on aggregate there. Cristiano Ronaldo with yet another goal tonight for Portugal. But yeah, all good, guys. Belgium into the box it goes. Wes Faes heads it away for Belgium. Belgium hack it further away. Romelu Lukaku takes it down, and the player comes through the back of him. Silly foul to give away in these circumstances. And it is going to be a free, what is surely the end of the game to help Belgium go through. Surely. Portugal win-win, pal, says Michael Howe. Absolutely. Obviously, Ronaldo thingy. Obviously, big Ronaldo fan there. Mikey, my mate Mikey here is a massive blue nose. Mikey, tell me, how's our Ben Davis and our Kieran Dowell getting on for your boys? May says he doesn't like Steve Clarke, but who else? I mean, decent chat. I don't know. Who would you get? Good shout. Derek McInnes, maybe? Is he interested in the Scotland job? Bring back wee Gordon Strachan just because he looks like a troll? I don't know. Interesting. Gareth Southgate's out of work. How do you fancy Gareth Southgate as Scotland manager? Apparently he's out of work. Could have him as manager. He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wonder how many more years Ronaldo will play international football. He's going to play into his 50s. Mate, he doesn't look... Janet, what are you on, mate? I'm here. Hello, Janet. Weird, Janet. Anyway, ball forward now. And that is it, guys. That is it. Belgium win 3-0 to survive another day. Nicholas Raskin has been an absolute superstar tonight for Belgium to help them to survive in this Nations League group, to help them to get through. Absolutely fabulous, absolutely superb. Well done to Nicholas and the boys. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, boys. Well done, boys. Absolutely brilliant. Spain, Netherlands obviously is still ongoing. France, Croatia is still ongoing as well. We've got the Portugal, and the Portugal game is still ongoing as well. They're into the 96th minute in the France v Croatia game. That's pretty amazing by the looks of things. That game is still ongoing. Still obviously there as we go through that one. Portugal and Germany, Italy 3-3 now. Germany, Italy 5-4 Germany. Oh, that's one hell of a game. Mikey says they're doing well, especially Dow. Great attacking midfielder. Not sure why you got rid, mate, because he was shocking for us. He was absolutely shocking for us. And I'm sure the guys will testify to the fact that he was not good. Janet says he couldn't cut it at the Jers. He just didn't look at home here, mate. He really didn't look at home for Rangers. He just looked very, very poor for Rangers. Didn't play well at all. Genuinely didn't play well at all. Was very, very poor across the entire time at Rangers. Yes, I don't think his injury situation helped him. He was out. He missed a lot of games, but he certainly seems very happy at Birmingham. He's doing well for Birmingham now. According to reports that are coming that I'm reading down here, guys. Kieran Dowell, the Birmingham City boss, and Birmingham City sounds of the noise coming out of Birmingham City is that they're really pushing to try and keep hold of Kieran Dowell. They want him next season. They want him to be a Birmingham City player when Birmingham are back in the Championship. So that's really positive. I think if we can sell him, if we can get a little bit of money for him. That would be absolutely phenomenal, wouldn't it? That would be absolutely great if we could generate a little bit of extra cash. That could go into obviously the war chest, into the budget, and Birmingham get a good player. We get perhaps £1 million or £1.5 million for a player that we don't really want. So it's winners on all sides, isn't it? It's winners for Birmingham. It's winners for Rangers. At the end of the day, it's a winner for the player as well. He goes somewhere, he gets to play first team football. I don't think, personally speaking, I don't think there was ever any doubt, in terms of the lad's ability. He quite clearly was a good footballer. You've only got to listen to the Norwich fans tell you what a good footballer he was. Norwich fans, when we signed him, said basically that they'd rather have they missed Dowell more than they missed Cantwell. And we all thought Cantwell, not all of us, but a lot of us thought Cantwell was a good footballer. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I really hope that, he goes on and obviously that he does well at Birmingham and he continues to do well at Birmingham. I wish him all the best. And like I said, the better he does there towards the end of the season, the better he plays. Hopefully that's the more money we can generate for him, and a bit of extra money always goes well into that budget. We've talked of the budget. We've talked about the fact that, the 49ers and Andrew Kavanagh are going to put between 20 and 25 million into the club for player acquisition this summer. And I'm sure whatever we generate in player sales will obviously, increase that. We'll obviously, add to that. So, if we can generate another 5, 6, 7 million pounds, then you're looking at 30, 31, 32 million for player acquisition. The more you can spend, the better players you can get, the better better squad we're going to assemble. The better we're going to do next season. And that's got to be the key to it at the end of the day, hasn't it? Absolutely got to be the key to it at the end of the day. But, just reflecting back for a minute before, we'll talk a little bit more Rangers in a minute. But just reflecting back on tonight, Belgium win 3-0 against the Ukraine after being 3-1 down from the first leg. That means that they survive relegation to out of League A, Belgium. But amen. Praise Nicholas Raskin. Nicholas Raskin got his first full start for Belgium tonight and played absolutely superbly. He was absolutely brilliant. Now, he was taken off in the 87th minute, replaced by Heynen. And as he was withdrawn from the pitch, he received a standing ovation from the Belgian crowd. Now, as a few people have just pointed out in the live chat, we are celebrating Nicholas's fantastic performance tonight. As I said as I've said a number of times, the guy is a class act. He's been probably our player of the season this season, Raskin. And, he's been brilliant tonight. Now, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? As good as he's been tonight, which he has been, he's been absolutely brilliant tonight. He, as good as he's been tonight, he's going to attract more interest. And the better he does for his national team, the better he does on the international stage, the more interest he's going to generate from the EPL, from Europe. And the harder it is going to be for us to hold on to him, unfortunately. But on the positive side of it, the better he does internationally, the more money he's going to generate for us. So, look, at the end of the day, it's got to be positive from that aspect, hasn't it? It's got to be positive from that aspect. The Germany-Italy game has finished 3-3. So, Germany are the winners, 5-4. The Spain-Netherlands game has gone to extra time, as has the Portugal-Denmark game, as has the France game. Michael says, John says, Germany won the first half 3-0, lost the second half 3-0. Bloody hell. But that was one hell of a game. And John says, bye-bye, Steve Clark. Get well soon. Mikey says, I see Janet, obviously responsible. Janet said, I've got to say, guys, Mikey's one of the, I worked for a company for a short time, for a green retail company for a short time. I can't name them on here for legal reasons. But look, it wasn't the best of jobs. It was a bit of a tough one. But I left. I've just left. I've just left the company. I'm starting a new job on the 3rd of April. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go into work to say goodbye to people because I have injured my knee ligaments whilst demolishing a wooden playhouse in my mum's garden for my mum. I jumped on a wooden panel. The panel didn't snap, but my knee did. So I'm struggling to get around at the moment. So obviously I can't walk very well at the moment. So I'm limping everywhere. But I've got to say, in the entire time that I was there, this man, Michael Howe, Mikey, as he was known to us, was an absolute legend. He was an absolute legend, man. This guy is the friendliest, nicest, most warm, heartwarming guy you can meet. He would do anything for anyone. This guy is an absolute superstar, and he's one of the nicest people I have ever met in my entire life. So this guy deserves all that respect in the world. This guy is a superstar, and I thank him for everything in the short time I was with a job I didn't really like. But this lad was top man, guys, top man. So I'm going to give him a shout out tonight. That's what happens when you pick Tim, who wouldn't get in the Motherwell squad at right back. Shocking performance. Obviously, his profile and the price rises. That's in reference to Raskin. Steve Clark is an alky and a bell end. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Thank you. And no problems, Mikey. Just words for a legend, mate. As a Ranger, I would have to advise against jumping on wood to break it. Yeah, mate, it wasn't the best idea in the end of the day. I jumped on the wood and my knee went like that. So not great, mate. Yeah, call me Oscar Cortez, mate. Just call me Oscar Cortez from now on. That's what I feel like at the moment, a bit of Oscar Cortez. But yeah, I think, look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It'll get better. I'll still be here. It gives me time off work, gives me time to do podcasts, gives me time to do Rangers stuff, doesn't it? Gives me time to talk Rangers. I mean, how can that be a negative? How can that be a negative if you get more time off to talk Rangers? It can't be, can it? It surely can't be. Some stuff on the takeover today that was around. And look, I've got to say, I'm going to echo what I said yesterday, and on the video this morning. It's so nice, isn't it, to have such a positive feeling going forward. I think for too long, as a club, for the past couple of seasons, we've been in the doldrums, haven't we? We felt really down. We felt really dejected, like, things are just falling apart for this club. Really, they are falling apart. And, we had a manager who just couldn't motivate the players. We had a set of players that didn't look like they knew what they were doing. They didn't seem to have a plan, a shape, a formation. Just didn't seem to have a clue about anything, and now we seem to have, don't worry, Janet, we've all done it. We seem to have more of an optimism going forward. We seem to have a bit of a vision, a bit of a I don't know, just something to look forward to, in terms of the future of the club. I mean, look, in the short term, Barry Ferguson, Neil McCann, Billy Dodds, Alan McGregor, you've got to give them absolute praise for what they've done. They've been absolutely superb. They really, really have. And, big praise to them. They've done a fantastic job. There you go. There you go, guys. If he doesn't get the Rangers job, give Barry Ferguson the Scotland job. There you go. Barry, Neil and Billy and Alan McGregor can take the Scotland job. There you go. There we go. Aldo, do I want to know, Aldo? Do I genuinely want to know that one? There's a lot of really good talent in the Scotland squad, but Clark is a football dinosaur. I've got to say, mate, you're right on that one. You know, you look at that Scotland squad and you look at some of the players that Scotland have got now. And I know Ben Doak is out at the moment, but, you know, Ben Doak is an absolute class act, isn't he? He is absolute different class. We'll talk about the takeover in a minute because obviously, you know, some of you have raised the Scotland situation. But, you know, you look at that Scotland squad that you had tonight, the team that you had tonight, you know, and you've got some good footballers in that team. You know, you've got, I mean, I don't get, like, I've got to say, I don't get the wisdom of playing Craig Gordon in goal. I don't get that one. The guy's past it, really is past it. The Timmies would lose their minds if Barry got the Scotland job. Let's do it. Absolutely, let's do it. Barry is the motivator, Dodds and McCann are the brains. That's what it seems to be, Maze, doesn't it? You know, the Barry Ferguson is the manager, the kind of the motivator, the cheerleader, and it's Neil McCann and Billy Dodds that do all the tactical stuff. But, you know, you look at that Scotland squad that you've got, and that team you put out tonight, there's some good footballers in that team. You know, you've got John Souttar, obviously, best defender in Scotland, absolute class act, John Souttar. Didn't obviously have a good game tonight, 2.4 out of 5 for him tonight. Andy Robertson, the captain, you know, Robbo is a good footballer. He's a top footballer. I mean, he's a guy who's been doing it in the Premier League for the last 4, 5, 6 seasons. He's been absolute class. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League. The guy's a top player still. Even at the age of 31, I think it is that Robbo is now. He's still a class act. Billy Gilmore, Scott McTominay. I mean, these are two guys that are ripping it up in Italy that are, you know, probably Napoli's best players, you know, at this moment in time. John McGinn, who is playing in the Champions League for Aston Villa. You know, you've got some talent in that team. You really have. You know, you go to your bench. Lewis Ferguson, you've got, you know, top player. Lennon Miller, top player. You know, Ben Doak, I know Ben Doak is out injured at the moment, but you've got some good footballers in that team. And there's no way that team should be coming with a 1-0 home, 1-0 away win in Piraeus and coming back to Scotland and losing that game 3-0. There's not, you know, you shouldn't be doing that. You should not be doing that. You've got talent in that squad. Look, I'm not saying that the talent's on the same level as what England have got, you know, or as what Spain have got, or Italy, or the Netherlands, or team or international teams like that. But you've certainly got enough talent in there to compete with the likes of Greece, Romania, you know, Albania, Belgium, people like that. You've got some talent in that squad, and you should not be losing that game. And, you know, Lewis Ferguson, yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't start him. I mean, this is another one. I mean, look, you've got obviously Gilmore and McTominay who are ripping it up for Napoli. You've got Lewis Ferguson, who is one of the best players in Serie A. Serie A is one of the top 5 leagues in Europe, and yet he can't get a game for Scotland. I mean, you just wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know why, would you? Blue Nose John says the best Scotland managers the last 2 decades have been ex-Rangers managers. Give Barry the job if we don't keep him. I think that's a brilliant shout, mate. I think that is an absolute brilliant shout. I mean, agreed, Chadams is fucking abysmal. I don't know how he's playing for that team. I mean, I suppose he's better than Lyndon Dykes, but then again, let's face it, being better than Lyndon Dykes is not much of a recommendation. I dare say that I could probably find a 3-legged donkey that would be better than Lyndon Dykes, if I'm being honest with you. He's pretty shit as well. But yeah, I don't know how you lost that game tonight. You know, you shouldn't be. You certainly should not be losing that game tonight. Portugal are now. Raskin didn't score, no Gorguts, but he was absolutely superb. For those of you who've just joined us, the score was 3-0 to Belgium. They overturned their 3-1 aggregate defeat. Nicholas Raskin started for Belgium, and he was absolutely superb. He was taken off in the 87th minute, and as he left the pitch to a standing ovation from the Belgian crowd. So, you know, you've got to reflect on that and say that he played very well indeed. So the just to go over the scores at the moment, Portugal are 4-2 up on Denmark. They're 4-3 up on aggregate in that game. And Trincao has scored the goal that's put them ahead. And the other game is still ongoing now, but it's now Spain 3, Netherlands 2. Yes, that man, Lamine Yamal, the sensation, has scored for them. Yeah, I think he will stay for that. He'll be here next season, mate. I think he will stay for next season, Gorguts. I personally think that what will happen is that we'll hang on to him at least until January. If he starts next season the same way that he's ended this season, You're going to see, I think, interest in January. Certainly. Hopefully we can get through January, hang on to him till next summer. I think next summer is a chance we get to really capitalize and really bring a really big price in for the boy, because he is a class act. He is a class act. And yeah, I mean, I know we've still got a fair few weeks to go to the end of the season, and he is going to, he is going to do that. He is going to do a decent job for us, and he's going to look a good player. But you've got to hope, haven't you, that he comes through that and he does well, doesn't he? But who knows? Who knows? Janet says, Owen, we lose because we're too slow and teams can read us like a book. Maybe you've got a bit of the Clemonisms. 3-0, a big loss, Owen. Scotland is a better team than that. Not sure what happened. Maybe they just didn't turn up today. I don't think they did, matey. I mean, on the positive note, my Wales boys won 3-1 against Kazakhstan yesterday at home at the Cardiff City Stadium. And guess what, guys? You know who scored in the 90th minute for Wales yesterday? Yes, that's right. Rabbi Matondo on the score sheet for Wales. Maybe he's not as bad as we all thought he was. Well, maybe he just is, but you never know. But yeah, Wales won 3-1 yesterday, so I'm happy about that. All positive. Raskin is going to have a great career ahead of him. He certainly is. He looks a quality player. Think of the millions we added onto Raskin's transfer price this past week. Absolutely. It's like I said on the podcast yesterday, the moment you get a player who does well domestically, plays well domestically, then becomes a full international, you're going to start to add value to that player. The moment you can say that, yes, he's very good domestically, yes, he's a very talented footballer domestically, but he's also a full international and he plays well for his country, you're adding £4 or £5 million onto his price tag. Yeah, absolutely, he should have won that one, mate. Kazakhstan are shit. I mean, let's face it. I mean, who's the most famous person from Kazakhstan? That's Borat. He's not even a real person, is he? Young Welshman, we know. Yeah, maybe. Did any of the Jersey players start for their countries apart from Raskin and Suter? I don't think there's been any other games tonight involving our players. Obviously, Romania didn't play tonight. They played the other day. There was a World Cup qualifier, wasn't it? Czechia, they played Saturday. Czechia, didn't they? Apparently, Cherny was not great at all. Czechia did not play well at all. They only won 2-1 against the Faroe Islands. Patrick Schick with both the goals. Václav Cherny got a 4.1, mind you, according to Google, but was taken off. Yeah, they won. Czechia 2-1. Cherny played. But yeah, all good, mate. All good. But look, I mean, Raskin's adding value. That's the key thing, isn't he? He's adding value to his price tag. And look, I know, and I know, we all know. We'd rather keep hold of our better players. We'd rather say, oh, Raskin's staying, Hamza's staying, John Suter's going to stay, Ridvan's going to stay, Diamonde's going to stay. All these players are going to stay. But look, we're living in a realistic world where we're not the Rangers of the 1980s, or the early 90s. We're not Graham Souness's Rangers. We're not Walter Smith's Rangers. We can't afford anymore to hang on to these top-class players. Gone are the days of Gennaro Gattuso, Brian Laudrup, Paul Gascoigne, Lorenzo Amoruso, Fernando Rickson, the De Boer brothers, Michael Moles, Nacho Novo, running out at Peter Lovenkrands. I mean, we've had some amazing footballers. I mean, the days of them guys running out at Ibrox or their equivalents now, they're dead and buried. It's not going to happen anymore, is it? It really isn't going to happen anymore. And that's sad. That is sad, isn't it? But, that's it, isn't it? That's where we are now as a club. We're not in the position to be able to hang on to these players anymore. It just doesn't happen. Bayrami did start the other night, didn't he? Albania lost to England. Apparently, Bayrami was absolute dog shit all night. Did not play well at all. Looked very disinterested all night. Interesting. That is a reoccurring theme on the Nadim Bayrami front, isn't it? That he generally doesn't look bloody interested. Doesn't look interested. Really doesn't. But look, as I was just saying, I think we are all a lot more positive going forward, aren't we? We are a lot more positive going forward. We look at this and we see, I think, a brighter light at the end of the tunnel. The takeover obviously is ongoing. Apparently do diligence, and we're going to get that, Mikey. We are going to get that, mate. due diligence has been done apparently, and the papers have been submitted. As far as as this takeover goes, it looks like this takeover will be done by the end of May. Ready for June, ready for the end of the season, ready obviously for the off season to start obviously acquiring new players, for looking at new talent, for bringing in new players to the club. Obviously looking at the manager situation. There's money there now to be spent, and that's the good thing. The fact that yes, we'll generate some money through player sales in the summer, but we're still going to have between 20 and 25 million from the 49ers, from Andrew Kavanagh to spend on players. And, that's what we need to start catching up with that lot across the city. We need money, and now we're going to have it, and we're going to have the chance. And look, I'm not as naive as to believe, that this is the panacea, that this is the, this is the thing that's going to, we're just going to chuck money at this and it's all going to be okay again. There's a lot we've still got to get right. We've got to get the next manager appointment right, whether that's Barry or whether that's somebody else. We do need to get that right. We do need to spend that money and whatever money we generate over and above that wisely on players in the summer still. And look, what will happen is, and what you'll start to see is the amount of money we can spend will start to raise. Why will it start to raise? Well, as we're more successful, we'll generate more revenue. The more revenue you generate, the more money you can spend. That's the way PSR works. Now, PSR works on the basis that you can spend 82% of your revenue on player wages, player transfers. So I hope, that's the hope. And obviously, if we get 25 million this summer, plus say another extra 5-6 million on top through player sales, that then gets plowed back into players. We bring in some good footballers. We qualify for the Champions League. We get Champions League money. We then obviously can start to take it on again. The other day, I did that video the other day, talking about what Rangers made from the Europa League. I compared that with what Celtic made. I showed you, for winning a group stage game in the Europa League, you get 6 figures. For winning a group stage game in the Champions League, you get 7 figures. For winning the league phase, for finishing in the top 8 in the league phase in the Europa League, you get $1 million or so. You get 4, 5, 6 million in the Champions League. The money is vastly different. That will increase our revenue. That can increase what you can spend. It's all a cycle that we've just got to start to get right. And I think, that is something that hopefully will start to come right this summer with this cash injection from the 49ers, Andrew Kavanagh. Blue Nose John says, I just hope this is not a Glazers type takeover. Mate, look, let me assure you this. As someone who has watched the 49ers since 1989, who knows what Jed York is like, who knows what Denise De Bartolo is like, who knows what Parag Marath is like, this is not a Glazers takeover. This is not, the Glazers bought Man United basically with Man United's money and then put Man United in debt, to do it. Manchester United were a rich club at one point that had 600-700 million in the bank. That's all gone now. Man United could have gone bankrupt at Christmas. That was, if Sir John Ratcliffe hadn't put all that money into them. So, realistically, they've done an awful job there. And look, this is not a Glazers. Trust me, this is not a Glazers style takeover. This is not how Marathe, York, De Bartolo operates. It's not going to happen, mate. Have faith. Have faith. Bayrami always looks disinterested when playing. Maybe for us, maybe it's just, yeah, absolutely. What we need to remember is it can't all be spent on acquisitions. Wages need to come in to account. So probably 3 quality players. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Obviously, you've got to look at signing on fees. You've got to look at your bonus structure. You've got to look at guaranteed money. You've got to look at transfer fee. You've got to look at wages. So, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Bayrami reminds me of Sane in Germany. Totally uninterested. Yeah, did you hear, by the way, John? Leroy Sane has been linked with a move to a Premier League club this summer. Any guesses, Blue Nose John, who that Premier League club is that he has been linked with a move to? Celtic lot keep banging on about religion of Kavanagh. Sad. It just shows how desperate they are, clutching at straws. I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. And we're up against tougher teams than they were. We were absolutely. Europa League actually was. Our fixtures were tougher than their fixtures, a lot tougher than their fixtures. The only hard game they had, they lost 7. Well, actually, no, they had 2 hard games. They got smashed by Villa. They got smashed by Dortmund. It shows, doesn't it? It shows. He was at Man City previously, John, but no, another English Premier League club have been linked with him tonight in England. See if you can guess. It's a top 4 team. a top 4 English team. Also, Bayrami is actually a highly rated player. He just doesn't play for us. Happens all the time. I mean, this is the thing, Gorguts. I mean, I always remember someone telling me a story that you can have the best stats in the world and be the best player in the world, but if you can't, no, John, not Forest, but if you can't, Grant's got it, it's Arsenal. Apparently, Mikel Arteta wants to sign Leroy Sané. That's what I've heard. Also, Bayrami, yeah, look, that happens, doesn't it? You know, you can have a player that looks, yeah, he was linked with Liverpool Blue Bells, but that's not happening now. That's dead. Liverpool have been linked with a whole host of players, but not him. But yeah, you know, look, he is a lazy player, Bayrami, absolute lazy arse bastard. He really is. And you know, you can, like I said, you can have all the ability in the world and all the talent in the world, but you know what? You can come to Scotland and play for Rangers, and you can look shit. It's Arsenal, mate, Michael. It's Arsenal he's been linked with. He's been linked with a move to Arsenal. He was linked with Tottenham at one point as well. Yeah. Gorguts, that mop are always on about religion. Just let them get on with it. They're embarrassed themselves. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, Arsenal. It was Arsenal. Leroy Sané has been linked with a move to Arsenal. Why Arsenal? Well, apparently Mikel Arteta quite liked him when he was at Manchester City as Pep Guardiola's assistant. Apparently he got on well with Leroy Sané, and he's confident that he can turn Sané round. Interesting, guys. Interesting. But yeah, look, yeah, you're right, Grant. The religion thing went out with the window. Yeah. Oh yeah, the story I was going to tell you. Jed York and Denise De Bartolo are Catholics. They are Catholics, right? But I'll tell you this story for definite. They have never once brought religion into anything in the United States of America. And the United States of America is a much more religious country than Britain. It's a very religious country. And I'll tell you this for a fact. They have never once brought religion. They have never once brought Catholicism. They have never brought that into any of their sports. And you know why? Because they recognize, as many people now do, that religion and sport are two totally separate things. And it seems like the only ones who don't seem to realize that now are that lot across the city. And they are getting it embarrassingly wrong time and time and time again. But you know what? This takeover does look very positive. And it was interesting to hear Keith Wyness talk on the radio yesterday, I think it was. He was talking about the fact that he says that this is way too far down the line now. All this talk of this collapsing, that collapsing, the other collapsing, you know, it's just a load of rubbish now. It's an absolute load of fear-mongering rubbish, and it's not going to happen. The takeover is too far down the line now to not go ahead. And he's confident, you know, as we are, that it's all going to go ahead. So absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He will be available for free in the summer. And that's why Arsenal are interested in him, mate. Striker at Sporting Lisbon, Gyökeres, I think his name has been linked with Forest. He has, John. He is a quality player, Victor Gyökeres. Played for Coventry City, but we all have our crosses to bear in life. Has been fantastic for Sporting Lisbon. Looks a top player. Was linked with Manchester United, actually, but yeah, he does seem to have that. Second leg against Fenerbahce, Bayrami should have been taken off 5 minutes after he came on. He failed to chase one single, but he was awful in that game. How he stayed on, God only knows. Absolutely amazed. I used to live in the States, and there's no such thing as a Catholic Protestant divide. My dad, who was American, always laughs his ass off about it here. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's not a thing over there. It just isn't a thing. And you know, Celtic can make as much of it as they want, but it's just not a thing over there. You know, it's just not even thought about. And they can write to the 49ers. They can write to Jed York, which they have been doing. They can write to Denise De Bartolo. I'll tell you something, they're going to pay absolutely no interest in it because they've got absolutely no interest in this religious bollocks. I heard that lot bang on about religion. Money is money, and business is money. Dies, but matter what your religion is. Correct. No, he's actually is Catholic, mate. Jed York is Catholic. He's not Jewish. Have been, like I said, as a 49ers fan, I know a little bit about the families that run the clubs. But look, I'm positive. I'm positive, really positive about the future. I think there's a lot of good coming up. A lot of good coming up for the football club. This was just an impromptu live tonight. I thought I'd come on, have a little chat with you, watch the end of the Belgium game with you, let you know, just have a little chat about it. Right, guys, just a quick heads up before we head off tonight because it's getting late. I need to go and speak to my daughter. So tomorrow afternoon, we are going to have a live update for you. Come and join us tomorrow afternoon. It is a 1:30 podcast tomorrow afternoon. 1:30, 2:30 podcast tomorrow afternoon. So come and join us for that. Guys, it'd be great to speak to you. So please come along for that one tomorrow afternoon. It'd be good to have a big chat about Rangers and all good stuff. Plenty of Christians in the US will absolutely correct you if you call them Catholic when they are proddy. Might not be a bitterness, just the difference. Absolutely good stuff, bro. Thank you always. Go Goots, go Guts. Andrew Kavanagh seems to have really fun. He seems to be at loads of games. He seems to really enjoy it. Right, guys, that is it for this evening. I've got to head off. Thank you for watching. As always, guys, on the way out, please comment, please like, please share, and remember always, please never forget, we are the people.